Hey everybody, today we are in Lakeland, Georgia. It is known as the City of Murals, at least that's according to the sign as we were welcomed into town. This is also home to Banks Lake National Wildlife Refuge. I don't know how much we're going to be able to see here because we don't know how to canoe or boat, but anyway, I've been looking at pictures of it for years and I thought it was pretty, so we came to see what it's all about. So, you ready to walk the boardwalk?
Yep.
Alright. So this is the kiosk that you see whenever you first get here. It tells about the National Wildlife Refuge System. And this tells about Banks Lake. It's a pretty cool historic picture right there. Showing people in the early 30s and 40s, they used to come in large numbers to the occasional pond draining. It's pretty impressive right there.
Now this man built the first grits mills
Yes, Joshua Lee.
in 1830.
So that tells a little bit more information than what I actually have written down in the car. I do have about Joshua Lee in the car, but it says Joshua Lee built the first grits mill on this location in 1830 in what was Lowndes County. He owned 5 1/2 land lots, 2,069 acres, which were not yet free of Indians. He built a low-level dam across the stream flowing through his property. The water flooded the land around the ancient cypress trees where a natural moccasin, or however you say that, existed probably as a result of tidal action of the ocean thousands of years ago. His mill afforded the farmers a place to grind their grain and gin their cotton without going a great distance. The mill was located on the old stagecoach road from Waycross to Thomasville. About 1845, an April flood washed away Joshua Lee's mill dam. In 1848, William Lastinger bought Lee's land, including the pond and mill site. Lastinger built on the site a cotton gin, grits mill, and sawmill. The Great Pond was raised to its present area by Lastinger, who owned only one lot of land, which was 490 acres. The water soon covered 10,000 acres. The Great Pond is today's Banks Lake. In 1962, the mill pond became Banks Pond when Lastinger swapped the pond to Henry Banks of Atlanta for 252 bales of cotton. Lakeland attorney and future governor of Georgia purchased the land from the Banks estate in the 1930s. Governor Rivers and his wife Lucille built their home on the water's edge at the end of the entrance road. The house was moved in the 1980s approximately 200 yards to land owned by Rivers Estate. Today, the home and property is owned by the Lanier County Preservation Society. The Banks Lake ownership timeline runs from Joshua Lee to William Lastinger to Henry Banks to Uriff D. Rivers to the National Conservancy to the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. So that's pretty cool. And that right there, of course, is the laws of the land, as I like to call them. Yeah, aren't they pretty? I wish they had a boardwalk on the whole thing so you could just walk the whole thing.
Be right through here.
Yeah.
Somebody must try to get that flower down there. See the way the fishing reel,
Oh, yeah.
lure, fishing lure.
Good. How about you?
All right. Beautiful day.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, we just want to throw you in the nursery.
So you came all the way down here just to see this?
No, she look what she
Oh, look at the lizard. If it's showing up. I think that's about as far as I can go. I wish the boardwalk was all the way around. It'd be nice, but I know it costs money to do that kind of stuff. I also wish an alligator would come up, but I don't think that's going to happen either. I know they have them here. The lily pads are pretty, and the water lilies. Cypress trees are just off the chain amazing. I like the swampy looking flowers. This is pretty. There's some pretty little purple flowers right there. Yeah, whatever they are. I don't know what kind they are. Mom was pointing out these pretty flowers back here, if you can see them. I don't know what they are, but it's some kind of flower. So they have something called Wildlife Olympics here, and it says the Wildlife Olympics Trail is an agility course where children will learn about different animal species at banks like while having fun and getting exercise. It's the first round. If the first round isn't challenging enough, Feel free to do the trail again and increase the level of difficulty. Good luck. So it says you start here, and children of all ages are welcome to participate. That's number 1. Number 2 is great blue heron. Many birds regulate their body temperature by standing on one leg while holding the other leg up. Stand on one leg like a heron and count to 50. I think Mom says she's not going to do that, so she's walking on. Number 3 is frog. Frogs often move from one site to another to avoid predators and find food. You can often hear them calling to attract mates and defend their territory. Hop like a frog to the tree and back. No, that's not going to happen. I'd be fell over. Number 4 is bass. What's that fish jumping out of the water? A bass. Bass can jump twice their body length out of the water and slap their fins over their heads. Imitate a bass by jumping as high as you can while clapping your hands over your head 10 times. I'd like to see you try that, Mom. I think you can. Oh, that must be the walking trail back there. I might have to go back there once I get done with this. Just to see if I can see a gator. Number 5 is monarch butterfly. A monarch butterfly flaps its wings to warm up on a cool morning so it can fly. Put out your arms and flap like a monarch 15 times. It could do that. Number 6 looks like it's got an obstacle course right there. I guess so. It says it's a bat. The bat is not a nocturnal mammal that roosts in trees and caves and it sleeps upside down, hanging by its feet. Act like a bat and try to hang from the bar right side up for 1 minute. Don't think that's going to happen either. I have a hard enough time standing up straight, much less trying to hang upside down. Number 7 is grasshopper. Grasshoppers have hind legs that are designed for jumping. This allows them to jump many times their body length from an upright position. See how far you can jump away from the starting point from a standing position. What was that? That was number 7. That's part you got to walk all the way over here for number 8. It seems like it went in a circle. I guess not. Number 8 is the gray squirrel. It says squirrels are nature's tightrope walkers. They use their tails to help them balance as they move from limb to limb. Pretend you are a squirrel and try to walk the length of the balance beam without touching the ground. I could possibly do that when I used to do that all the time in elementary school. Number 9 is a knoll lizard. Knoll lizards make themselves appear larger than they really are by doing push-ups when they are threatened. Be like a lizard and do 10 push-ups. Oh, number 10's over here. We should make up our mind which way we want to go. I said my favorite thing is that alligator over there. Alright. So number 10 is gopher tortoise. Gopher tortoises create a tunnel-like burrow up to 40 feet long and at least 10 feet deep. These burrows offer refuge to over 360 species of animals. Imagine you are a gopher tortoise as you crawl through the tunnel. Be sure to check that no one else is home before you enter. I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't even fit in that hole right there. They'd have to come get me out of that thing. Then number 11 says alligator. Alligators are sit-and-wait predators that are capable of extreme bursts of speed for short distances. Count how many seconds it takes you to sprint like an alligator to the distance marker. So, this is the finish line. And we can just imagine I act like an alligator and went over there. And this over here, this looks pretty cool too. It's like some kind of fairy garden. That is cute. They even got a little owl up there in the tree. I did not see that a few seconds ago, but that is so cute. So now we're back here on the little walking trail. I don't even know how long it is. It's obviously not long because you can't go too far. So I think that's about as good as I'm gonna get here. But a little bit's better than nothing at all. They also have a place where you can rent kayaks and canoes here. And this over here is where you'd put the boat in. And that's the store up there where you rent the stuff out. It's called Banks Lakes Outdoors. Kind of creepy with the hand there, but maybe they're petting the fish. So that was a nice little store. If you need anything that you forgot, they definitely have it in there. So the marker out here at the road tells about Joshua Lee, and he lived from 1782 to 1855, and it just tells you that he built the first grits mill on this location in 1830, and pretty much that the farmers and merchants who gathered here established it as a trade center. A post office in 1838 established the town as Alfalfa. Maybe that's how you say it. Alpaha, but changed to Milltown in 1857 and later to Lakeland in 1925. The legacy of this property is the remembrance of the pioneers who came to this land and created a community, and of their descendants who wish to protect the land. And down there, across the way, if it'll focus. It's not wanting to. Anyway, that's the sign down there that says that this is Banks Lakes National Wildlife Refuge. Here it's focusing now. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and wrap up the Banks Lakes National Wildlife Refuge video.
2 miles, turn left onto US
And of course, my
221.
GPS has to talk. But anyway, all this information came from fws.gov. And it says that it's located in Lakeland, Georgia. It consists of a shallow blackwater lake studded with moss-draped cypress trees rimmed by marshes and uplands. Lots of people go fishing or paddling or watch the sunset from the pier. I can understand why the pier is absolutely gorgeous. Since the best way to experience Banks Lakes is from the water, and I'll be honest with you, if they would have had boat tours out there, I would have took one. But they did not have that. You had to go out on your own. It says each season gives you a different look. Banks Lake is a natural Pocosin or mill pond which was probably created by tidal action of the ocean and shaped by a more temperate climate thousands of years ago. The 4,049 acre site protects a unique environment and diverse wildlife. Banks Lakes National Wildlife Refuge was established in 1985. The refuge lies in the Grand Bay and Banks Lake ecosystem, an area that comprises the second largest freshwater wetland system in Georgia. I don't mind going to the Grand Bay thing, but it's only like 16 miles away. However, I read on the website that the boardwalk's flooded, so there's no point in going there if I can't get on the boardwalk. They like it's a nice place. And it says Banks Lake was formed when the Carolina Bay that makes up most of the refuge was dammed over 150 years ago, and it has a variety of habitat types, including cypress trees, freshwater marsh, uplands, and open water. In the mid-1800s, and GPS is getting ready to talk to him off the page.
Use the left lane to turn onto US 221.
Joshua Lee built a low-level dam across the drainage creek on his property. The impounded water powered a grits mill that could grind corn, wheat, and rice. The mill pond and the mill established the area as a trade center along the early stagecoach route between Waycross and Thomasville. In the 1920s, E.D. Rivers family tried to develop the area around the lake for home development and electric power. Cypress was logged from the lake to provide railroad cross ties until the 1930s. Then the dam was elevated in the 1940s, which formed the existing Banks Lake. In the 1970s, the E.D. Rivers estate wanted to drain the lake and harvest the lightened stump and cypress trees. However, that never happened, and on March 14, 1980, the National Conservancy they did not publish the land, they purchased the land from the estate, and on April 16, 1980, the service entered a lease agreement with the intent to establish a national wildlife refuge. But they had a lack of funds to acquire the land. So the land was in limbo during 1982 and 1983, and then funds were finally added in 1984. The site was purchased for $356,000, and the area finally became Banks Lake National Wildlife Refuge on February 22nd, 1985. And today, Banks Lake is managed as part of the Okefenokee Complex. So, it's a really nice place to visit. I do wish that there would have been a boardwalk more, that you could have went more out into the lake to see it.
In 5.8 miles, turn right onto Nashville Highway.
I also wish that the walking trail would have been a little bit more, but it wasn't. So what did you think of it overall?
It was good.
It was good. I don't know if she was impressed with that long drive off the interstate to get there, though.
No, I did. I was not
But-
impressed with that. I'm impressed that you wrote in there color ink where you could read your cliff notes.
Yeah, but I still had a little trouble reading because I can't read my handwriting. So, it's all good. But I found out about that place like on Instagram a few years ago, and I'm like, oh my God, I've got to see it. So I finally saw it. Took everybody along that actually watched the video, probably maybe about 15 people, 20 if I'm lucky. And it was a really peaceful area out there. I like the fact they had a store that if you did forget anything and you wanted to buy anything, you could have. They had candy, I think potato chips, drinks, all kind of fishing stuff. Different historical information in there. So,
Where you got some
oh yes,
nice
yes. Handy dandy brochures, don't forget those. So I said at the beginning of the video that it is a mural town. So this tells about the different murals right here. And I'm probably going to come back one day just to do the murals whenever I've got more time, whenever I don't have anything else to do. But I think I'm heading into Florida for a couple hours this afternoon, so got to get out of Georgia at least for now. But this shows the different murals that's all over town.
I mean, it's all total.
I think there's like 30 murals. So that would definitely be something to come back and do a video on one day, maybe whenever I go to the Grand Bay Wildlife Management Area. And this right here tells about the water trail. Looks like alfalfa, maybe? Alfalfa. I don't know. I might have to Google that and figure out how to pronounce it. Anyway, this tells about that. If you're into all that stuff, I think that would be wonderful if I knew how to do it. And then this right here said to how to experience nature. So,
Is that about the dancing?
oh, that was about the murals.
We're gonna come up on all the blueberry bushes.
Yes, oh my God, if you come here, all you see is blueberry farms. Everywhere we look was blueberry farms. So this is apparently the blueberry capital of the South. So, I've never in my life seen so many blueberry bushes.
Blueberry.
But anyway, we're going to wrap up this video. Hope you enjoyed watching, if you did watch. So, that was my first time ever going there, her first time ever going there. If anybody's watching the video, maybe you've been there before, maybe you go there quite frequently, I don't know. But if not, I hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!
Bye. That's Cogdell Farms. Cogdell Farms. Blueberry Farms.
I am going to pop back in for a second, though. I'm going to show you a little bit of the blueberry bushes so you can see them. So that's the bonus footage. Picking these blueberries too. Now this up here is a different blueberry farm than what you saw earlier. This is mixing blueberry farms now. Out on a limb, I'm gonna say they have to sell to grocery stores as many blueberry bushes as down here.
And the day is April the 23rd.
Yes, the day is April 23rd, 2022.
And it's Saturday.
It is Saturday, and it's my first day of this vacation. Because there's nothing I love more than vacation time.